All right, welcome everybody to this webinar. My name is Tyler Garns. I'm the founder and CEO here at Box Out Marketing. And this webinar is how to use Infusionsoft to build a massive email list. So let's just go over a few housekeeping items real quickly, and then we'll dive right into the content. First off, I want to make this interactive. I want you to be able to ask questions. I'll respond. I've got my camera on so you can see me. I can't see you, but I want to make this as interactive as possible. Also, yes, I will send you the slides. So I don't want you to worry about having to take notes on every little thing. I want you to focus on the content and be thinking about your business and how you can apply the content. So be taking notes, but more about application and not so much about what's actually on the screen, because I will give you the slides and this will be recorded. I always put the caveat in here, though, that it doesn't necessarily mean a recording will be available, because the recording doesn't necessarily always work. So I don't want to promise that and then people get upset, but yes, we are recording it, and yes, hopefully the recording will be available. I'll answer your questions during the webinar and at the end, mostly at the end, but I'll try and keep on top of the questions coming in during the webinar as well. All right, so a little bit about me, if you're not familiar with me and my background. I worked at an internet startup back in '99 through 2001. Which at the time just seemed normal. Now looking back this many years, I realized that we were really kind of ahead of the game in a lot of ways back then. We were doing some really interesting stuff. It was a fascinating time, a really exciting time, of course, until 2001, middle of the year, the whole internet blew up, the bubble burst, and we all kind of went our different ways. Well, at that point, I went into pharmaceutical sales and did pharmaceutical sales for about 5 years. And then I left that and got back into the internet industry, working at Infusionsoft as the internet marketing manager in 2007, and then eventually became the director of marketing and eventually the VP of marketing at Infusionsoft. And during that time, we drove our lead generation from 300 leads a month to over 25,000 leads per month. Now, those of you that run small businesses might be thinking, okay, that's great for a big company like Infusionsoft, but I don't have that kind of budget, and blah, 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 blah. Immediately the excuses start spinning in your head. I get it. I've done it too. But I'm going to tell you that in the beginning, we had a budget of $300 a month. And I promise you, no matter what business you're in, you can come up with $300 a month to spend on advertising, on marketing, on trying to grow your business. And if you're already beyond that point, then I'm going to share some things with you today to help you really maximize your investments and help you to build a massive list using Infusionsoft. It's absolutely possible. It's super fun to do so. And your business will grow in big ways as a result. So when I left Infusionsoft in 2012, I started doing some private consulting for a little bit, and then eventually founded Box Out Marketing. We're a little bit different than most Infusionsoft consultants. Unlike most implementers, we develop your strategy, the messaging, the positioning. We write the copy and build all your campaigns, and really help to ensure that you get results from the work that we do. We've been providing training, coaching, and done-for-you services for Infusionsoft users since 2012. And really, like I said, our focus is on helping you get results, not just have fancy campaigns. So we're not about implementation, although of course that's what we do. We're about making sure you actually get results, and we do that in various different ways. Starting with very low price points up to very large projects for different types of businesses. Just another quick hit on who I am. These are my kids. This was actually just over 3 years ago when we adopted our little girl in Hawaii. So those are our 3 boys and our little girl Aaliyah. And they're just an absolute joy. And of course, here's my beautiful wife, her and I at the Oceanside Harbor here in California. And then just a couple of pictures. My boys and I are really into surfing. So that's what we do on our free time. We go surfing. So you've got a picture of me on the left in Hawaii, a picture of my oldest son in the middle, and then my oldest son and my second son, they're on the right, various different pictures from surf contest. So anyways, that's just a little bit about us. Again, I figured I'd reciprocate since I asked you to introduce yourselves as well. So what are we going to cover in this webinar? We are going to cover first lead generation strategy. I don't want to get into the tactics and all the little things to do until we've kind of covered the high level strategy. Then we'll talk about lead sources. We can't talk about lead generation without talking about the sources and where you get those leads and how you actually track that in Infusionsoft. Then I'm going to go through some campaigns. I'm going to actually walk through 4 different campaign templates that I'll utilize to show you different lead generation strategies and the way that you can not just capture the leads, but convert those leads into hot prospects and sales. All right, and then I'm going to go over how to systematically generate leads month after month. All right, so let's first start off with a quick little poll. Again, I mentioned that we want to keep this interactive, so I'm going to kick off this poll here. And the question is, what is more valuable to you? And I apologize, I just realized that the slides weren't showing for some odd reason. I think we're back. So I'll just go back to the pictures because that's all you really care about, right? I'll go to the pictures. So here's the kids, my 3 boys and our little girl. Here's my wife and I in Oceanside. And here's the pictures of us surfing. Me on the left, my oldest son in the middle, and my 2 oldest sons on the right there. And then what we're going to cover, okay? Lead generation strategy, lead sources and tracking in Infusionsoft, lead generation campaigns, and how to systematically generate leads month after month. So thank you to those of you who chimed in and let me know that the slides weren't showing. If you'll let me know now that the slides are showing, just to confirm, that would be great. So just hop into the questions box there and let me know. In the meantime, let's kick off this poll. So what's more valuable to you? A Facebook follower, a Twitter follower, a website visitor, or an email opt-in? So we'll grab the answers there. We'll give it just a minute. I'm not going to wait too long, so I want to keep this moving forward. So if you're paying attention, hop in, take the poll, give us an answer, hit submit, and you're done. If you're not paying attention, let's get you refocused and have you answer the poll real quick. Okay, it looks like most of you have done that. So I'm going to go ahead and close the poll, and we'll get back here to our slides. So what you guys answered is almost all of you got it right. So 8% of you said a Facebook follower, 0% said a Twitter follower. That's good. At least no one fell for that one. 14% said a website visitor, and 78% of you said an email opt-in. So let's look at some stats. Why do we want to capture email addresses? Well, there's really important reasons why we want to capture email addresses. And first off, that's because you get a 3,800% ROI on email marketing, according to the DMA. Now, this is a really, really important stat, right? When you're trying to grow your business and you're investing in growing, you're investing in marketing and advertising and hiring and all the different things that you do, not everything produces a great ROI. But email marketing will produce a 3,800% ROI if done correctly. So that's a really, really important stat to keep track of. And if you're not getting that kind of ROI out of your email marketing, then you should be looking at, okay, what can I do to improve that? Email is 40 times more effective at acquiring new customers than Facebook or Twitter. Again, stats from the DMA, nothing to sneeze at there. These are really important stats, well researched. But again, 40 times more likely or more effective at acquiring new customers than Facebook or Twitter. So those of you that might spend the majority of your time on Facebook or Twitter, not that that's a bad thing, you can utilize those mediums to drive people into your email opt-ins. But if all you're doing is getting Facebook followers, Twitter followers, then you're probably not getting as much ROI out of your activities as you could be. All right, next, the average order value of an email is at least 3 times higher than that of social media. So again, getting down to the actual revenue, you can get 3 times more revenue from having an email address than having a follower on social media. Also, you're 6 times more likely to get a click-through from an email campaign than you are from a tweet. So you send out an email, you send out a tweet to the same audience, you're 6 times more likely to get a click on that email. So really, really, really important to understand how valuable email still is. Now, the reason I bring this up is because lots of people are saying, well, email's dying, and yeah, maybe it is to a certain extent, and maybe it's not as effective as it used to be, but it's still far more effective than just about any other medium out there. And I'll add to this that now you should be trying to capture cell phone numbers as well and engage in a relationship where you can text back and forth with your audience. And you can do this in a very personal yet automated way through tools like Fix Your Funnel. I'm not going to go deep into tools right now. We're going to stay focused on our topic. But this is really, really important that some of that personal engagement is shifting away from email and into the cell phone and mobile world. So you want to be aware of that as well. Okay, now that we've gone over the stats, let's dive into lead generation strategy. So if you've ever taken a marketing 101 course, or you've begun to study marketing because you're a business owner, almost guaranteed you've seen this graphic, right? So this graphic is showing the triangle of marketing strategy, which is, first you got to know who your market is, and then you got to know what your message is for that market, and then you got to know how you're going to get in front of those people, or the medium that you're going to use to get in front of those people. So that's, again, marketing 101. I'm going to add one other thing to that, though. One other M. So it's the 3 M's of marketing, right? Fourth M is your magnet, lead magnet. All right, this is really, really important to understand, that your lead magnet is what's going to attract. It's going to pull your audience in. And that magnet has to convey the right message to attract the right market, and it has to be delivered through the right medium to get people into your funnels, okay? All right, so lead magnets is what we're going to talk about first, is your lead magnets. First, we're going to talk about how to create a great lead magnet, all right? First thing is you start with the market. So again, those 3 M's, you've got to start with the market itself and start asking questions. What do they want? All right, and what do they want is the first question. Now, I bring this up because we've had clients in the past that were getting traffic that they didn't even know they were getting, and by researching that, we were able to determine better what those people wanted. So those little acronyms you see there are just reminders for me about these stories. So AAS stands for All About Spelling. All About Spelling was a company that we worked with actually when I was at Infusionsoft, and All About Spelling was a company that still sells kits and tools to help you teach your kids how to spell. If you're doing homeschooling, these are great tools, right? And so they had listed on their site a few different pages of free spelling lists. And they didn't realize until we dug in and did some research that a whole bunch of traffic was coming into those pages. People go to Google and they type in free spelling lists, and they go to those pages and they copy the list and then they leave. And so what we did is we made, I think they had 10 pages of free spelling lists. What we did is we made the first 3 easily accessible the way they were. And then when they got to page 4, it said, hey, do you want the rest of them? Just opt in here. Okay. So we discovered what they wanted based on what they were searching and how they were coming into the website. Now, same thing, PSS is Progressive Surgical Solutions, a current client of ours, and we're helping them do some SEO and pay-per-click research right now. And what they do is they support nurses and nurse managers in private surgery centers, and they help them stay compliant with all the laws and the regulations and all those types of things, and be ready for auditors when auditors come to audit all of their systems and their processes, and making sure they're not putting anybody at danger. And again, what we discover here is that a lot of these people search in the moment, right? They're like in need right now for this stuff, and they search for crash cart checklist. So this is something that nurses need, right? We're putting together a crash cart to be used in emergencies or whatever, and we need a checklist to make sure we have all the items that we absolutely need in this crash cart. So again, by doing that kind of research, you can determine what they want and then create lead magnets around that. So of course, all they need to do is create a lead magnet. Here's your free crash cart checklist, right? What do they want? All right, what pains do they have? And what do they desire most? These are the psychological factors that are going to get people engaged in what you're doing. All right, so what you want to do is create something that satisfies their desire or solves their problem. If it can do one of those things, then you've got the heart of a great lead magnet. And then you have to offer it, of course, through the right medium. So let's just throw out a few lead magnet ideas here. So some of you might be stuck, and this happens often when I talk to small business owners about lead magnets. They'll start spinning their wheels going, oh, well, what do I offer? I don't know what to offer. Or they might say, I've got some lead magnets. They just don't seem to be pulling very well. They're not getting great engagement. So here's just a few ideas, right? 5 tricks to losing weight fast, right? If you've been struggling to lose weight, then this would be enticing to you. become a famous blogger in 60 days. Again, if you want to become a famous blogger, then this idea of becoming a famous blogger in 60 days might be enticing to you. Feel 20 years younger, live 20 years longer. How to give your child the top grades in school he deserves. Now, some of these headlines are actually famous headlines from famous copywriters. How to build a memory in 4 short weeks, so powerful it is beyond your wildest dreams today. All right. So those were all lead magnets that are attracting the desirable, right? We understood what the market wanted and we put it out there. Now, we might also use fear or pain to push people in the direction that we want. So here's some other ones, right? The unseen dangers of starting your own business. That's supposed to say top 10 Infusionsoft pitfalls. How to beat the fear of public speaking. So these are all a little more fear-based. Instead of desire-based, they're fear-based or pain-based ideas for lead magnets. Now, really, they're just headlines, right? They're just headlines. These could be blog post headlines. They could be article headlines. They could be landing page headlines. But they're also great titles for lead magnets. They really could double one for the other. This is why when it all works effectively, you've got a landing page with a great headline, usually have an ad using the same headline. They get to the landing page with a great headline, and then they opt in for the lead magnet named that same thing. All right, another one, 7 relationship danger signs. All right, so what about formats? How do you deliver your lead magnet? So you figure out what they want, you figure out what you're going to call it, you figure out the content, but how am I going to deliver it? Well, you can format it as a how-to, or you can format it as a list, 7 ways to XYZ, or the 7 best things to blah, 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 right? Claims, right? Lose weight in 27 days or less, right? That's a claim. Cheat sheets, you can position it as a cheat sheet, a template, free training, swipe files, etc. The key here is to make it easy, make it step-by-step, and make it dummy-proof, okay? If you have, a lead magnet called the 997 ways to conquer Infusionsoft and achieve all your business dreams, that doesn't sound super easy, right? 997 ways, that's just too much. It's overwhelming, right? You want to keep it simple, easy, straight to the point, and things will work much, much better. All right, so let's get a volunteer here. I need y'all to hop into the questions box again and let me know what your industry is and what you sell. And what we'll do is we'll crowdsource some ideas from you. So if you are struggling to create a lead magnet, tell us what you do and tell us what you sell, and then maybe we will be able to come up with a good lead magnet idea. All right, so here's Wink. Wink says diamonds and jewelry. Okay, so let me ask the group here before I chime in with my ideas. I'm assuming you're selling this retail, right, Wink? You're selling diamonds and jewelry retail. You're not selling it wholesale or anything. You probably have a retail store and you want to get more people engaged. So those of you that might be interested in jewelry, what would be a good lead magnet for you, right? What would attract you? Let's throw out some ideas there. All right, everyone's still typing in their own industry. That's fine. We'll get to a couple. Here we go. Lion says the best diamonds at the lowest possible price. Great. So you're going for this is more driving on the price aspect of things. May not necessarily be a lead magnet, but might be a great promotional title, right? If you're going to drive on price like that. Okay, here Katie's got a great one. How to tell a good diamond, right? And if you've ever gone into a jewelry store and bought diamonds, this is one of the great educational pieces, right? And they'll talk about the, the 3 C's or the 4 C's, something like that. Clarity, color, cut, I can't remember, right? But you're absolutely right, Katie. That's a great way to use that education as a lead magnet. All right, and Dejana says 7 ideas for a perfect gift this Valentine's. Great, I love it. These are great ideas, right? Lisa says free diamonds. Lisa just wants free jewelry. I get it, right? You just want the bling and you want it for free. I'm not sure that's going to work as a lead magnet. Bud Clark says how to buy diamonds at wholesale prices. Great. All right. Let's see. Sarah, how to not get swindled when buying jewelry. So that's an excellent one. Remember we talked about how some people are going to move towards what they want. Other people are going to move away from pain. So particularly someone who's had a bad experience, buying diamonds before, or who has heard of people getting ripped off, or maybe they heard that their friend got a great deal and then this person over here spent a lot more money for the same type of thing. That's a great way to position it. How to not get swindled when buying jewelry. All right, let's see. How to purchase an engagement ring. Great. Someone buying an engagement ring might be the first time they've really invested in really expensive jewelry like that, and so they need some education. All right, those are some great ideas. Thank you everyone for participating. There's tons and tons and tons of stuff here. Wink, what I'll do is try and copy all this stuff down and send it to you, because everyone has come up with tons and tons of ideas. So thank you everybody. Really, really good ideas there. We don't have time to go through all of them, unfortunately. But if you wanted to get chosen for that little, volunteer opportunity right there, and you didn't, and you're looking for ideas for you, what I would do is I'd encourage you to hop into one of our Facebook groups, right? So there's one called the Infusionsoft Open User Group on Facebook. It's a great group, very active, and just go in there and say, hey, my industry is this. I'm trying to figure out the right kind of lead magnet. Can you guys help? And I promise you, you'll get a ton of feedback, just like Wink did just now. It's a great way to get collaborative help. All right, so thanks everybody for participating. Let's move on. Part of what you need to do here mentally, this is a mindset shift that you need to make, and that is to change yourself from being a vendor to being an expert. If you mentally are a vendor, you'll always be selling something. But if you change your mindset that now you are the expert, then you position yourself as the expert. Your lead magnets come off as expert material. And when people see you as the expert, they want to buy from the expert, okay? So don't hesitate to really position yourself as the expert. And when you start positioning yourself as the expert, you start communicating like the expert instead of like a salesperson. And your sales will actually increase. Okay, so we've talked about the content a little bit. Now let's talk about the medium, right? You can send this thing out as a PDF. It could be a video series, an email series, a direct mail, etc. It goes on and on and on and on. And what I would recommend that you do is let your market dictate. So let's say you are in, in some kind of corporate industry. Creating a white paper might make a little more sense to begin with, because that's what people are used to in that environment. Where in the small business environment, people want more like guides and cheat sheets and things like that. And so you do more just kind of that simple PDF. But then what I would do is, start with that, but then get creative, right? You don't want to have the same lead magnet as all of your competitors. So make it a little different, or maybe try something contrarian. Everybody else is doing white papers. I'm going to do a video series. So you want to test out different things. Take the same content, repurpose it, create a PDF, create a video series, create an email series, send out some direct mail, whatever it may be. Try it out and see what works best. All right, and then when you're driving that traffic to get your lead magnet, creating a landing page must be easy. This is where I see a lot of people get stuck. Okay, I've got my lead magnet, I've got my message all figured out, I know who it's targeted for, but I don't know how to do web development. I don't have a web developer, I can't afford one. Or I tried to get into OptimizePress and set this thing up. It's way too complicated, too technical. And so what I'm going to do is recommend here Thrive Themes. There's two major reasons why. Well, three. One, it's a WordPress plugin, and most people are using WordPress sites. So it's really, really easy to get and install and make it work. The next thing is it's super, super easy. They have landing page templates already built. You just choose one, and then you go in and you edit the content. Super easy, and it's all drag and drop. So if you wanted to create your own, you could do that really, really easily as well. It's the easiest tool I've found to use. And the third reason, and perhaps the most important, is you can stick your native Infusionsoft forms in there. When you use a lot of these other third-party tools like Gravity Forms or ClickFunnels or some of these others, you lose some key important information. You lose affiliate tracking. So if you're using Infusionsoft for affiliates or referral partners, you'll lose the tracking when it goes through a third-party tool. Also, you lose lead source tracking, which we will talk about in just a moment. And you need to make sure you're tracking where those leads are coming from, or else you're just going to be guessing all the time when you're doing lead generation. So you've got to have a simple, easy, fast process for creating landing pages. If you can't crank out landing pages really fast and easy, then you're going to get stuck in your lead generation processes, and you're not going to be able to build a massive list the way you want to. Here's a landing page template that I designed actually, probably 8 years ago. And the thing is, it's still valid today, all right? There's lots of different formats, right? You could have kind of the button in the middle and pop up a light box. There's different ways of doing it. but these are kind of the core elements, right? You need a great headline, which is often going to be the same title as your lead magnet, because you've written those in a way that's compelling and exciting to your audience. You have a great subheadline, you have 2 to 3 sentences explaining what your offer is, and then bullet points of the benefits. Make sure you're not talking about features here, but the benefits. Benefit 1, benefit 2, benefit 3, benefit 4. Short little paragraph again, call to action, and then the form right there. All this above the fold so people don't have to scroll down, and that will work very, very well. It's a great place to start, and then you can start trying different formats and using something like Thrive Themes. You don't even have to think about it. All of theirs are kind of optimized in different ways for different things. So just use their templates and run with it. Okay, let's talk about lead sources. Where do I get the traffic? I've got my lead magnet, I've got my landing page, I'm all ready to go. I need traffic. And maybe I don't have a $10,000 a month budget to go pay for AdWords or Facebook or whatever. So where do I go get this traffic? Where are the sources? Okay, so where do you find your audience? And the key is your audience, right? Your target audience. You need to make sure the audience you're driving is qualified and ready to buy, or ready to engage at least, okay? So do you get them on Facebook? Do you get them on AdWords? Do you get them on Google Display Network? These are all great places to go and do some testing, and potentially, you know, if things work out, really ramp spending up in those areas. But I don't want you to get so fixated on just these things. This is where everybody spends all their time and their money. So the competition is greatest in these areas. And there's still a lot of opportunity in these areas, so I'm not discounting them at all. But what you want to do, especially when you're first starting out to try and really get into list building and growing your list, you want to figure out where your audience already is. Now, is your audience already searching Google? Yeah, probably so. Is your audience already on Facebook? Yeah, probably so. But they're not aggregated in tight-knit groups of just people who fit your target market description. So what you want to do is look into some of these ideas that I'm going to share with you. Okay, first, dedicated emails, or sometimes they're called solo emails, or if you're in Australia or other parts of the world, they're called EDMs, electronic direct mails. Okay, so what's a dedicated email? Usually dedicated emails are sent by publishers. So I'll give you an example. At Infusionsoft, one of the ways that we very efficiently generated lots and lots of leads is working with a company called iEntry. iEntry owns lots and lots of online publications. So they're basically news sites. So they own websites like Small Business News and WebPro News and a bunch of them like that. And they're basically news sites. They're publishing content and news all the time. And really what they're doing is they're making money selling advertising, right? They're publishers. They're online publishers, just like a newspaper or a magazine or whatever. And when you go to that site, they're trying to just get you on their email list. And they're trying to get you on their email list so they can send you their content, but also they send out dedicated emails. So what they'll do is typically once or twice a month, they'll send out like a digest of their content. Hey, here's what's happening this week. Here are the latest articles, etc. But interspersed in between those, they'll send out a dedicated email, which means the whole content of the email is your content. You get to define the subject line and actually give them the HTML for the content of the email. So of course you make that HTML basically just like a landing page, but instead of having a form, you have a button. Button goes to your landing page and then they opt in. Okay, so it's a whole advertisement essentially for your lead magnet. These are very, very effective. They're great ways to get in front of people. Now, again, effectiveness of email is declining. So this may not be as effective as it was 5-10 years ago, but it's still a very effective and relatively inexpensive way to drive leads. All right, other communication services that might be specific to your industry. So another client of ours is College Success Formula. Now they provide information and a membership site to help parents and high school kids learn how to prepare for and apply to and get into college and how to have a successful college experience. And you know, they've tried out Google AdWords, they've tried out some Facebook stuff. They do a lot of these other things, and that's all great. But one of the most effective things they found was a company called Peach Jar. Peach Jar is a company that has gone out to schools all over the nation and said, hey, sending home paper flyers with your kids, with the students, to communicate with their parents isn't very effective. They put it in their backpack, it never comes out, they throw it away, whatever. We need to send email to the parents. And so we've created an email system. You work with us, and all the flyers you need to send out to the parents, you send out through our system, and they've made it really, really easy. Well, they've also made it so you can advertise through Peach Jar. So if you're a nonprofit organization, and you have a product or service geared towards students, then you can advertise through PeachJar. And their advertising, College Success Formula's advertising through PeachJar is like pennies compared to Facebook and Google AdWords. So that's a great example of an industry-specific communication service that you might be able to tap into. Industry associations. Another client of ours is in the horse equipment industry, and they teamed up with a large association of quarter horses, I guess is what you call it, and they were able to team up with them and advertise through their newsletters and through their events and all those different types of things. So be looking for those industry specific ways. Now these people, right, Peach Jar and this quarter horse organization, they've already done the hard work of aggregating your audience into one single place. So you don't have to go chase them down on Facebook or Google AdWords or wherever else. They're already gathered up. And you just need to find those organizations and those situations to get in front of them. Now, Google Ad Grants is another great opportunity. If you are a nonprofit organization, Google Ad Grants will give you up to $10,000 per month to advertise through Google AdWords, right? It's a great opportunity that you have if you are a nonprofit organization. So don't miss out on that. Go look into it, Google Ad Grants, if you're a nonprofit organization. All right, JV and affiliate partnerships, of course. There's other people, other businesses that might be related to yours that are addressing the same target market, that have complementary products or services. And again, they've already done the hard work of getting everyone together. So why not team up with them and figure out ways to get in front of your audience? Industry events, of course. I'm going to talk to you in a minute about ICON, Infusionsoft's annual conference. It's a great event. And we go every single year because it's a great opportunity to collaborate with others, learn what's going on, learn best practices, all those types of things. But if you're a sponsor of ICON, it's a great way to get in front of your audience. So my advice here is dig in, hunt this stuff down. Don't give up until you find the golden goose in your industry. Every industry has some organization, some communication service, some way of getting in front of these people. And your time figuring that out will be time well spent because it'll cost you a lot less and produce more leads than anything else that you try doing. I can guarantee you that. All right, so another quick poll we're going to launch here. I'm going to ask you here, what is your most profitable source of leads? Facebook, affiliates, banner ads, search marketing, or I don't know. Now I'm asking you specifically, I'm asking you about your particular business, okay? So again, if you've gotten distracted, you've got a lot of things going on, you're responding to email or whatever, let's refocus. Hop on the poll here and just click real quick. What's your most profitable source of leads? In your situation, don't be guessing for the whole audience here. I want to know for you, are you getting the most bang for your buck out of your activities on Facebook, with affiliates, banner ads, or search marketing? All right, we'll give that another 10 seconds here, and then I'm going to wrap up that poll, and we'll move on. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get your answers in. I'm closing the poll. All right, sounds good. Here's what we got. 21% of you say your most profitable source of leads is Facebook. 19% say affiliates, 0% say banner ads, and 29% say search marketing. But a whopping 31% of you said you don't know. Now, this isn't out of the ordinary. It's actually probably a lower percentage with this group than normal. Normally, I see about 50% of people saying, I don't know. We try different things, and it's all in there, and who knows what's going on. So what we're going to talk about here is lead source tracking. When people ask, hey, at Infusionsoft, how did you go from 300 leads a month to 25,000 leads a month? One of the things I always tell them was a critical thing in us figuring out was lead source tracking. If you know where each lead is coming from, what source, which ad campaign, etc., and you can track your expenses. So I know, hey, I spent $100 on that ad campaign and I generated $400 from that ad campaign. Then I know that I want to do more of that activity, right? But if I have another source where I say, okay, I spent $500 on that ad campaign and I only made $100, well, I lost money. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to stop doing things that lose money, and I'm going to start doing things that make money. But the only way to make those decisions is if you're tracking lead sources correctly. So it sounds so simple, right? I'm going to stop doing things that lose me money, and I'm going to start doing things that make me money. It sounds like the most simple thing in the world, and it is. But lead source tracking has to be done correctly for you to be able to do that. So what is lead source tracking? Well, in the Infusionsoft contact record, so I've got a little portion of the contact record pulled up here. In the Infusionsoft contact record, there is a field called lead source. It's right there under the name, first name, last name, job title, person type, and then lead source. The lead source is a special field. It is special because Infusionsoft has defined it such that once it gets set, it doesn't get overridden. So other fields, if someone fills out a form and they type in Tyler as their first name, and then they put their email address, and then they hit submit, and then they come back later and they type in John as their first name, and they put in the same email address and hit submit, well, it's going to override first name Tyler with first name John, right? That's how all the other fields in Infusionsoft work. Lead source doesn't work that way. Lead source gets set when they first opt in, and then it never gets overridden. This is really important because down the road, you want to ask yourself, how do I go find more profitable customers? So you pull up all your profitable customers and you look at their lead sources. You say, oh, turns out the majority of our profitable customers are coming from such and such source. They're coming from this source. Maybe it's a Facebook campaign, right? They're coming from Facebook and they're coming from this particular campaign. That is extremely valuable information to know. When you know that, then you're going to go put more eggs in that basket, and you're going to start pulling eggs out of the baskets that cost you money. So you need to know where every lead comes from, and then you need to track your expenses and your revenue on each of those sources. And the great thing is that's super, super easy to do in Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft has a report. In marketing reports, there's a report called Lead Source ROI. And what you'll see here is it will list out all your lead sources. So here's an example, right? This is all dummy data, but here's an example. Facebook ROI tracker ad 1. So that's my lead source. The source is Facebook. The campaign is ROI tracker. And then the ad or the content is ad 1, right? So I might be testing 4 different ads and you could see them all there. So anyways, on that particular ad campaign, that particular ad, I spent $12,500. I generated $0. So my ROI is negative 100%. If I did that, then I would, of course, stop spending that money the next month immediately, and I'm going to redirect that money into maybe the next one down. The next one down, which is Google Icon 14 bonus session. I spent $4,000 there, and I got revenue of just over $4,000, so ROI 1%. That's not great either. But look down a few more. Facebook CB guide, spend $3,500. Revenue generated $13,405. Now that's starting to look a little more exciting, right? So when you see data like this, you should be looking at this at least once a month at this particular report. And when you see this, you can know all of the things you need to stop doing immediately, right? I'm going to stop that top ad. I'm going to stop the Underground 2012 sponsorship. I'm going to stop the one that's called advertisement. I'm going to stop the one that's called banner advertisement. I'm going to stop anything with a negative ROI, and I'm going to redirect those funds towards the lead sources that are generating a positive ROI. This is one of the most powerful things you have at your disposal in Infusionsoft. Here's the problem. Infusionsoft doesn't track lead sources the way you're seeing there automatically. For example, if you're running 4 different campaigns on Facebook and you drive traffic to a landing page and people opt in, the lead source is going to get set by Infusionsoft. All of them are going to get set as Facebook. So you're not going to be able to tell one campaign from the next. That's why way back when I was at Infusionsoft, we started developing some JavaScript to handle all this. And then when I created Box Out Marketing, we developed a tool that's really, really easy that you can just install on your website that handles it for you. This free tool is called ROI Tracker. Okay? If you would like ROI Tracker, then all you need to do is pull out your cell phone. So grab your phone, open up a text message, and text the word source to this number, 760-306-4906. Okay? If you just do that now, then you'll get an email in a little bit giving you access to our membership site where you can utilize ROI Tracker. When you get to the ROI Tracker page, it's under Tools. When you go to Tools and go to ROI Tracker, there's a help video. Click the button in the upper right-hand corner, and the help video will walk you through exactly how to utilize this tool. I'm not going to go into the details now because we just don't have the time, but this will be one of the most powerful things you can do for list building and for growing your business. Okay? If you know that you can confidently invest in your marketing and advertising and make a profit have a positive ROI, then you can go aggressively market in many, many different ways, okay? But if you're guessing, like most of us do, right? You're not really sure. Well, my friend says Facebook's working. I'm going to try Facebook. My other friend says, you know, they're doing a lot on Twitter and that's working. I'm going to go try that. If you're kind of following that method, you're going to continue spinning your wheels, okay? So I promise you that if you just text source to 760-306-4906 and get ROI tracker, it's a free tool, and follow the instructions, you will do much, much better because you'll be able to see that report I just showed you. Okay, you'll be able to see this lead source ROI report and all the detail that it has, but you've got to use ROI tracker to be able to make that happen. Now, I see comments from some of you saying, hey, I can't text because it's an international number, etc. All right, if that's the case, go to, we'll pull up a browser here, go to boxoutmarketing.com/ROI-tracker. I think that's the URL. Let's just pull it up here together, make sure. boxoutmarketing.com/ROI-tracker. Yep, you can opt in right there, okay? boxoutmarketing.com/ROI-tracker. And that will help. And I can send this out in follow-up email as well. So don't stress over it if you weren't able to text in or you weren't able to get to that URL. But there's the keyword and the phone number one last time, and then we're going to move on here. Okay, let's talk about lead generation campaigns. Okay, we've got a few minutes left here. I want to make sure we dedicate enough time to these campaigns. I want to give you some ideas for how you can build your campaigns in Infusionsoft. All right, we're going to go through a basic lead capture campaign. We're going to go through what I call progressive lead capture. We're going to do a pay it forward flywheel, and we're going to do a lead magnet to Tripwire to core offer campaign. So I'm going to review each of these campaigns so that you understand exactly how you can build these things in your business to generate leads and follow up with them the right way. All right, basic lead capture. Follow the circles here, not all of the different things on the screen. So the circle is going to highlight what I'm talking about. So first we start with a web form, right? A lead capture form. You got to build that web form and then you got to stick it on a landing page. And then it's going to go into a sequence where the lead magnet is delivered. And then it's going to go into lead magnet follow-up. And there we've got an email link click goal. And if they click that, it takes them out of the follow-up. So the follow-up is basically saying, hey, did you download our thing or did you go watch our video series, right? If they don't click, then we're going to follow up a couple times. If they do click, then we're going to cancel that sequence. We're going to move them right into indoctrination. And that sequence, all it does is starts another campaign, which is our indoctrination campaign, okay? And so that's what's happening here at the end. And then if they actually convert in the process, then we're going to stop all this so we don't keep following up with them as prospects when they've already become customers. Now, back at the beginning, we have a sequence so we can promote this new lead magnet to our existing list. So if you go create a new landing page with a new lead magnet, you might want to re-engage your existing list so you can put them into a sequence that sends them a couple emails driving them to that landing page as well. Now, the next campaign I'm going to show you is progressive lead capture. The reason I would recommend progressive lead capture over the basic lead capture is because when someone fills out this form and they land on the thank you page, generally you're just going to say, hey, thanks for requesting our PDF. Go check your email and you'll find it there. This is a terrible thing to do, but most people do it. Someone checked out what you had, they liked it, they took the time to fill out their information and give them or give you a piece of them, and then when they got to the thank you page, you sent them away. You said, okay, thanks, bye. See you later. Have a good day, right? And that's just a terrible, terrible thing to do. So that's why we have the progressive lead capture campaign. Progressive lead capture campaign starts with the web form, right? So we have a web form to offer our lead magnet. And again, that web form goes on a landing page. And then when they fill out that form, immediately on the thank you page, we're going to take them to a page where there's a second form to gather more information or offer more value. So a very simple example might be that you offer a PDF report on the first step. On the thank you page, you say, hey, thanks so much. Would you like us also to send you a hardcover copy of this along with a DVD with further instructions? Sure, why not, right? And so then you fill out the rest of the information, which would have to be your mailing address. And then on that thank you page, when you fill out that form, you might move on to the next step in your engagement process. So a service-based business can use this process well because you start with a lead magnet and then you go to a stronger lead magnet and then you end with a consultation or some kind of special offer. So at that point, you might say, hey, thanks for requesting our stuff. We know you're really going to like it. In the meantime, would you like to hop on the phone with one of our consultants and have them talk you through how we can help you with your such and such problem, right? And so those are the three key elements right there. You start with a lead magnet, and then you go for a little bit more information and provide more value, and then you get right into some type of deeper engagement, like a consultation or a special offer on the last thank you page, okay? Now, what happens when you fill out those forms? When you fill out the first one, they go into a sequence that delivers the free report. They also go into a sequence that drives to step 2. Now, if they fill out the form at step 2, then that sequence gets canceled, of course. But if they don't, let's say they got there and they're like, well, I don't really want that extra DVD. I don't need you to mail me a hard copy of it. And they leave. Well, you might send them another follow-up email saying, hey, I noticed you didn't grab our DVD. Why don't you click here and go grab it before we run out, right? So you can try again to bring them back. And then after step 2, again, the drive to step 3 sequence is the same thing. If they don't request a consultation, then we've got a couple of emails there. We can follow up and keep pushing them to the consultation, right? And then lastly, we need to deliver on what they requested in the last sequence. Okay, and then down here, when they fill out the first form, we're going to have a timer and a waiting period, and then we're going to start the indoctrination campaign. All right, pay it forward flywheel. This is one you can utilize to generate more leads from your leads. Okay, so if you're familiar with the concept of a flywheel, it spins and it gets faster and faster and faster and faster. That's what happens here. So we start off with a basic lead capture form. Now, in this case, when they fill out the form, so let's say we're offering some free guide. We're offering a free campaign builder guide. You fill out the form for the free campaign builder guide, and then when you fill that out, you're going to get delivered that lead magnet, of course, through email, and there's going to be some follow-up, and this all looks a lot like the first basic one, right? But when you fill it out on the thank you page, instead of sending you away and saying, hey, thanks, go check your email for your lead magnet, we have another form. And on that form, it says something to the effect of, hey, thanks for requesting our free campaign builder guide. Why don't you pay it forward and send this to a friend who might also like to have this guide? And then you've got a form where they can enter in their friend's name and their friend's email address. And their friend gets invited to come back to this landing page and opt in. And so what happens is you're spending money to drive traffic into that funnel, but those leads then go find more leads. They invite their friends. They send the lead magnet to a friend. And this allows you to generate more leads from your existing ad spend, okay? And then, of course, you've got a sequence on the front to promote this to your existing base of leads as well. Okay, the last one, lead magnet to Tripwire to core offer, okay? So if you follow digital marketer, you've probably heard these terms, but basically you have your lead magnet on the front end. So we have a web form on a landing page. When they fill that out, of course, we take them to a page where we're not going to send them away. But in this case, instead of having a form, we have a Tripwire purchase. A Tripwire purchase is a low-cost offer. So let's say, we'll use our example again of the campaign builder guide, right? You opt in for the campaign builder guide, and then on the thank you page, it says, hey, thanks, we'll be sending that to you shortly. But for only $7, I'll give you access to this 3-step video series, video training on the campaign builder. So I'll give you even more training on more advanced ideas and things you can do with the campaign builder. For only $7, a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, great, give me that, $7. I need some training on the campaign builder, right? So you fill that out, and then on the thank you page to that, there's a core offer, what we call one-click upsell. So they get to the thank you page, they say, hey, thanks so much. Would you also like to add a 2-hour free live training session for only $47, right? So we upsell them into a live training session, right? And all they have to do is click, yes, I would like that, boom, and it charges their card and moves them on, okay? So what's amazing about this is if you're spending money driving traffic to the landing page where you're offering that lead magnet, and then you have that $7 Tripwire sell on the back end, usually you can recoup your costs, right? If you're doing this well, you can recoup your costs. So everything you're spending on advertising, you recoup it right away in the Tripwire. And then everything you get from the core offer purchase is gravy. That's all pure profit, all right? And so if you're driving traffic, if you're spending time, money, effort driving traffic, you want to be looking at doing this kind of thing. This is actually a service that we provide where we build this whole type of campaign for our clients at a very, very reasonable cost. If you're interested in this, please let me know. You can just hop in the questions box and let me know, and I'll connect you with one of our team members and they can talk to you about it. But it's a great service because at a very low cost, we can install this for you. We'll not just install the campaign, but we'll write the copy, we'll build the landing page, we'll set it all up for you, completely done for you. And then the great thing is, as you start spending money to drive traffic to that, you'll be able to see you recouping the cost of your traffic, but also recouping the cost of what you paid us to build that little campaign for you. So it's a great option, all right? And then, of course, you've got your sequences. You're going to deliver the lead magnet, and you're going to deliver the Tripwire, and you're going to push to the core offer, etc. And then in the front end, you're going to send this to your existing list if you would like to. All right, so once your lead magnet is ready and your funnel is set, you need traffic, right? You've got to go get traffic. And that's where things get a little bit hard and scary for people, right? You don't want to spend money on things that you don't know if they're going to work. You need a systematic way to profitably get traffic over and over and over. And that's why last year we created a course called How to Systematically Generate Leads Month After Month. Okay, if you've ever been a little bit concerned about, I don't know if I should go spend this money on Facebook ads or Google ads or some other type of marketing because I'm just not sure if it's going to work, this course will teach you exactly how to do it in a systematic, safe, and profitable way. Okay, in this course, there's 4 main modules. The first is create a system for finding sources. You've got to be able to find lead sources, and you've got to be able to do that continually because some of them won't work, and some of them you will run through the whole list, and then you'll be done. You'll need more. So you need a systematic way to continually find sources. You also need you need to figure out how to create the right lead magnet and hook. We talked a little bit about that today, but here's a whole module on that. You need to be able to set up lead source tracking. You can use ROI Tracker for that. We'll teach you how to do it. And then you need a system for buying traffic. And you need to be able to buy that traffic and test traffic in a way that doesn't break the bank until you figure it out. Okay? And so those are the 4 key pieces to how to systematically generate leads month after month. This is a great course that you will absolutely get tons and tons of value out of. And this course is normally $397, but I want to give it to all of you guys for free. But the way this works, and the way this works with Infusionsoft, since they're letting me do this webinar with you, is you've got to register for Icon 17. All right. So throw in the questions box here. Let me just find out from everybody here if you've ever been to Icon. Who's been to Icon? All right. Quite a few of you been. Some of you saying twice. Some saying no. Some say I'm already registered. Great. So Icon is awesome. Let me ask you, what did you think? For those of you that have been, what did you think about Icon? I can tell you this year will be my 9th Icon. It is an absolutely amazing conference. Now, I have opportunities to go to small business conferences all over the world, and I've been to a bunch. I've been to tons and tons and tons of different conferences, marketing conferences, internet marketing conferences, small business conferences, software conferences, etc. And I can tell you that Icon 17 will be the most valuable conference you've ever been to, okay? Just seeing the comments here. So Tom says, yep, 6th time this year for Icon. So if he's going 6 times, then he's obviously getting value out of it, right? Dejana says, awesome every time. So Dejana's been 4 times. Wink says it was so worth it. Karen says fun, inspiring, educational. Tom says Icon is our favorite and now only conference we attend. So yeah, and then Anne has a random comment. Sorry, is that a surfboard behind you? Yes, it is. Like I mentioned earlier, my boys and I are very into surfing, and that's just kind of what we do. So I've got a couple of boards here in the office. So anyways, Icon is absolutely amazing. Some of you are thinking, well, I can't take 3 or 4 days out of my business to go to a conference. Let me tell you, you can, okay, and you should. This is time that will be more valuable than just about anything else you'll do. And the expense, right? You got travel expenses, you got hotel expenses, you got to buy a ticket, all that kind of stuff. Again, there's probably not anything else that would be that valuable to you in your business. So again, this is my 9th Icon. I absolutely love Icon. This is a great opportunity for you to go and learn from the experts. You're going to meet other Infusionsoft users in your industry. That's the great thing. There's like 4,000 people that go to this thing. There will be other Infusionsoft users in your industry. The ability and the opportunity to collaborate and learn from other people is amazing. You're going to go to sessions where you're going to learn what's working and what's not. So instead of having to guess or hear from your neighbor down the street who may or may not know what they're talking about, you're going to learn and see case studies and know exactly what you should be doing. Also, I'm going to be teaching a session called 4 Ways to Double Your Sales Using Infusionsoft. And if you want to double your sales, you want to grow your business, you've got to be in that session. Like I said, there's no better place to get inspired, get trained, and get on the fast track to growth than with Icon 17. So Icon is April 25th through the 27th. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. The price is normally $6.99. Right now, they still have early bird pricing in effect, I think, for just a short while longer. So it's $5.99, but you're not even going to pay that today. You can save an additional $50 with our coupon code. So if you go and you register for Attend Icon or at attendicon.com and you use the promo code or coupon code BOXOUT, you will get $50 off. Now, I don't get any of this money. Okay, there's no incentive for me to promote Icon other than I just think you absolutely need to be there. And with this coupon code, you're going to save $50. Like I said, I don't get any commission. There's no incentive. I just think it's the absolute best thing you can do April 25th through 27th to help grow your business. So go to attendicon.com, use that promo code, and save yourself $50 and absolutely be there. So if you register for Icon 17 today, what's going to happen is you're going to get your Icon ticket, which is worth $700. You're going to get our course, how to systematically generate leads month after month, which is normally $397. Okay. I'm also going to give you the progressive lead capture campaign template. Okay. That campaign that I walked you through, the progressive lead capture one, we'll import that right into your account. It has copy. It has templated copy already written in there. So literally all you have to do is go in, edit the copy a little bit, publish the campaign, you're live and running. Okay, so it will give you a jump start on creating one of these really powerful lead capture campaigns. So that's a value of $499. Okay, so you're going to get $1,595 of value today for only $549 if you just register for Icon and use the promo code BOXOUT. All right, so go to go to attendicon.com and get yourself an Icon ticket. You absolutely will not regret it. Again, there's no better thing that you can be doing, I think, with your time on those days. So I'll leave that up, and then what I'd like to do is just open it up to questions. We're ending, well, 1 minute before the top of the hour, but I'm happy to take a few more minutes, take 15 minutes or so, and go through your questions and help you guys out any way that I can. All right, Karen's asking, can we have access to those items if we've already registered? I'm going to have to check with Infusionsoft, okay? Infusionsoft promoted this webinar for us, and this was part of the deal that we made, that we would offer this course for anybody who bought an Icon ticket from the webinar itself. So it's not really my decision to make, Karen. I really apologize, but let me check with them, and I'm happy to give it to you if they're okay with it. All right, yeah, a couple others with a similar question. Okay, Rodrigo is asking, when is Icon 17? It is April 25th through 27th, and it's in Phoenix, Arizona. All right, Christine is asking, how does meeting other users benefit me? Well, it benefits you because you can talk with them and find out what they're doing, how they're leveraging Infusionsoft, what kind of strategic campaigns they're using. You might be doing great with lead generation and you're really struggling with conversion, and they're doing terrible with lead generation and doing great with conversion. And so you can swap ideas and help each other. It's a great collaborative environment. All right, Alex says, it's great, plus we're part of Elite Momentum, totally worth it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the Elite program is amazing. All right, Christine's asking, are these people business owners or Infusionsoft consultants? Like I said, there's about 4,000 people that go to this, that go to Icon. The vast majority are business owners. They're Infusionsoft users just like you. There will be Infusionsoft consultants there. We'll be there. We'll have a booth. We're Infusionsoft consultants, and of course, we're there to help Infusionsoft users. But the vast majority are just Infusionsoft users, small business owners trying to help their business grow. All right, Sarah's got a great question. When you were spending only $300 a month on marketing at Infusionsoft, what did you spend it on? Such a good question. So when I first took over the budget, that money was being spent on Google AdWords, and it was not being effective at the time. Now, of course, over time, we made changes then and they've made changes since, and I think they probably got that to be effective now. But what I started doing is I started finding places where we could do those dedicated emails. Now, they always wanted like $500 or $1,000 or $5,000 for one dedicated email, depending on how big the list was. They had lots of different lists. And part of what you'll learn in that course, how to systematically generate leads month after month, is you will learn some of the things that I teach, or what I learned at Infusionsoft. You'll learn how to negotiate with these people, okay? Because the bottom line is they're salespeople. They're trying to hit their quota, and they'd rather hit their quota really easily at the beginning of the month by selling you some big package instead of selling a bunch of little tiny packages. So they're very, very hesitant to sell small amounts, but you can get them to do it. And so what I always told people is, look, I've got an unlimited budget. And at the time, of course, I didn't. But you kind of do, right? If I can spend $500 and generate $5,000, I'll do that over and over and over. And if I can consistently do that, I might start getting to the point where I'm going to go get a line of credit so that I can do it faster, right? So I can kind of make my budget unlimited if I want to, if I get a positive ROI and I get it fast enough. So I tell people, look, I've got an unlimited budget. I'm happy to buy all of your inventory, but I have to know that this is going to work. So can you just do me a solid and let me run one of these for $300, cut the list in half, whatever you need to do. I just need to know if your audience is going to respond to what we have. So we initially started with dedicated emails, with solo emails, and just doing small lists. And we were able to make that work. And it was ROI positive, and we did it over and over. And then we got into more and more lists. And a lot of those lists weren't ROI positive. So we just stopped doing those and we started doing others. And we just tracked the ROI on every single one of those things over and over and over, and just kept doing that. And that's how we grew. That's really the basics of it. Now, of course, there's a lot more that we added over time, but that's kind of how we started that process, Sarah. It's a great question. Wink says, it is like being in a room full of super smart people who also think you are super smart, and you share ideas. That's awesome. Great description of Icon. All right. Tom says, can't wait to see Marcus Lemonis at Icon this year. Infusionsoft has the best keynotes at these conferences. Yeah, I totally agree. Todd, how much time a week should we be setting aside to manage our Infusionsoft? I'm embarrassed to say that I've had it for some time, but just can't seem to find the time to develop and manage it. Yeah, it's a great question. If you've ever heard Clayt and Scott talk about the early days of Infusionsoft and founding Infusionsoft and getting it going, well, Clayt joined the team, shortly after they got it going, and he's kind of a finance guy in addition to being the CEO. So he gets into the books and he sees there's a line item there for a guy named Mark. He's looking at payroll. And it's like, okay, there's Scott, there's Eric, there's me, there's a couple other people, then there's Mark. And Mark, he's like, what the heck is up with Mark? I've never seen Mark. Mark's never been in the office, and Mark's making more than all of us. And they were really struggling at the time. And Scott told him, Mark is marketing, right? And so they had a line item in the budget that got spent every single month for marketing, forcing themselves to get the word out, to try new things, to advertise and test and get it going, right? So that was part of the process. But at the time, they also, before they had a marketing team and dedicated marketing people, they also had a full day a week set aside for marketing. So they would literally just go offsite, I think at a restaurant or something, and they'd sit down and just work on marketing all that day. So one day a week is what they did in the early days. Then they kind of shifted it to half a day a week. And then, of course, they started hiring people like me and building the team. And then you got, full-time people on it. But I would say if you're a business owner and you don't have anybody to delegate your marketing to, you've got to be spending at least a half a day a week on your marketing. And that would include, building stuff in Infusionsoft, finding sources, testing advertising, contacting affiliates, all that kind of stuff. If you're not doing at least a half a day a week, you are going to be sucking wind. Okay, any other questions? Spend a couple more minutes here, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up since we're way over time. All right, Wink says, last year I spent $1,500 with a consultant who built me 3 or 4 campaigns that actually work for giving great services to new leads that come to us. It was a great solution to how to build things, as it would have taken me months to figure out how to build them. Now I am needing to create more leads. Yeah, that's the way it goes, right? You have a little investment, and you recoup that investment, and then you're going to go in a little bigger, and you're always moving up to the next step. Anne says an hour a day minimum. Excuse me. Yeah, I'd agree. Like I said, half a day a week. If you want to break that up into an hour a day minimum, totally agree. That's like the minimum amount if you don't have anybody to delegate marketing to. Felipe is asking, can we get a recording for this webinar? Yes, absolutely. As long as the recording works, then I will send it out to everybody who attended today. All right, Rich is asking, what's the name of that plugin you mentioned earlier on? That was Thrive Themes. I'll go ahead and put it into the questions box here. thrivethemes.com. If you go to thrivethemes.com, you can register for their content builder, landing page builder, etc. It's amazing. It's really, really cool. All right, Todd, thanks for the presentation. Another off-topic question. Why do we struggle so much on Infusionsoft to track retention / attrition on a subscription service? I don't manage my Infusionsoft account, looking for guidance. Thanks. Yeah, tracking attrition or retention in Infusionsoft. You know, there's a great tool called Graphly. I can't remember the pricing off the top of my head. I think it's like $50 a month, which will help you do that a little bit better. But truthfully, what I do is just go in and pull reports manually once a month. It takes like 5 minutes. Okay, if you set everything up right, it takes 5 minutes once a month. Pull the data, put it into a spreadsheet, and you'll have amazing data and detail going on with your retention. If you want some more info on that, Todd, shoot me an email. All the emails that you guys get from Box Out come from me. It's my personal email address, so just reply back to it. I will get it. Just shoot me an email, and I'll point you in the right direction on that. Okay, I think we have a past webinar or something that we've done on that topic, and I can send that to you. All right, Rodrigo, last question. Do you also use Infusionsoft to cross-sell to existing clients, or are you focused on creating new leads? Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, right now, today, we're focusing on lead generation in this webinar, but really, ideally, you want the whole customer lifecycle automated, right? You want capture leads, and then you want to put them through an indoctrination process, then you want to get them an offer, then you want to close the deal, then you fulfill on what you sold, and then you upsell, and then you generate referrals, right? And so upselling and cross-selling is stage 6 in that process, and of course you want to make sure you're optimizing every lead that comes in the door through those processes. So that's one of the things that we do. That's kind of our flagship service, is building and implementing a complete customer lifecycle for our clients. If that's something you're interested in, let me know through the comments box or reply to one of my emails, and we'd be happy to chat with you about how we can help you build out and automate your entire business with Infusionsoft. We do all custom copy, custom marketing strategy. You'll be amazed by the process and the order in which we go through all of that stuff. Okay, everybody, thanks so much. It was great talking with you all. Thank you for staying engaged. Really appreciate a lot of great comments and questions and engagement on this webinar. Hopefully this was valuable to you. Go to attendicon.com, register for a ticket, use promo code BOXOUT, and you'll save $50. And I will see you there. We'll be there at Icon. I've got a main stage presentation. I've got the breakout that I told you about, 4 ways to double your sales using Infusionsoft. And then we're going to be offering you all lunch on Friday at Icon. So don't miss out on our free lunch. We'll be sharing some really, really amazing news with you during that lunch. All right, have a great one, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.